There's this fighting game I've had my eyes on for years now called Blazing Strike. I remember when they were just a small project, I saw them constructing the character sprites. I remember seeing gameplay when a character would kick and they'd lose all the color in their body. Like, they'd just be like, hitboxes and stuff. Like, they'd actually disappear from the screen. So, I remember this game when it was being built, and I didn't think it was going to become an official video game. I thought it was just a little indie project, but I mean, it still is an indie game. I still think it counts as an indie game, but it's not just like a small release. Like, Arc System Works is publishing it, right? So that's pretty decent. The game promised a Street Fighter 3 like game. They wanted to make like a 90s fighting game in modern day. And when I say 90s, I mean like late 90s, like Street Fighter 3, Third Strike, Garo, Mark of the Wolves type of deal. And visually, I think they're there. Let's check the release trailer because it's out. I don't even know if I actually want to buy it. Yeah, the graphics are there. The character on the right's character design's meh, but the dude on the left looks good. If there's options for scan lines, that would help a lot, I think. The combat doesn't really look that Street Fighter like. A lot of characters though. Some of the sprites need more work. Like that dude's pants. Okay. That dude looks cool. The multiple arms. She looks like someone I've seen before. Anna Williams, maybe? So they got alright. Fall 2024. It's out already. Blazing Strike review. I want to see a fight actually before I even see anyone's review. I want to see an actual fight. Yeah, I don't think I like the announcer, man. I don't think I like that announcer at all. I'm not going to throw any insults, alright? But I want to describe it without being disrespectful, alright? It's not that battle-ready voice announcer that you're used to in other fighting games. It sounds like a kid eating Doritos. Not a fat kid. A kid eating Doritos in front of his keyboard with a mic or something like that. I don't know. It just doesn't, it just doesn't give me that oomph. Not what I expected at all. A hamster-like voice. What I go teach, you never forget. End of the line. See the gameplay though. Hit sound effects are alright. They're not loud enough, I think. Not thunderous enough. I think they're screen shake. Oh! What? Wasn't this dude just a military guy? You'd expect this from like a show though. It's an install time limit. Yeah, the sound effects aren't good. Is that Thanos?
Art fighting games, and what's more impressive is that it was largely developed by a single person, Mark Minkyu Chung. Also known
So it's a single person.
With a love for old
that makes a lot more sense.
And complex fighting mechanics, this indie fighter is a surprising achievement in today's gaming.
It just needs better sound design. That's all it really needs. I don't know if it's going to help the impact. I'd have to play it myself, but like I said, I wanted a demo for this specific reason right here, because I'm not going to put money on a game that I'm not sure about. If there was a demo or a way to test it for me to like actually know how it felt, then maybe I would be more inclined to buy it. But I don't want to buy a game that I might not even enjoy,
Fighting game fans.
The fact that I'm even watching this means I'm trying to give it a chance the best way I can, but I can't play it, so no demo.
The classic era of arcade fighters. The gameplay offers a mix of story mode, arcade mode, and online multiplayer.
There's a story and an arcade mode. I respect that.
While story mode adds depth with its environment,
As long as the arcade mode has endings.
suffers from tedious dialogue that drags on far too long, making arcade mode a more streamlined and engaging option. The game's 14 diverse characters each bring unique...
I see what they're going with the two main characters. They wanted to give you a Ryu lookalike and a Jin Kazama lookalike, alright? I don't like the Shoto at all. I don't know if it's his hair. But the Jin Kazama dude's pretty cool. He got that Nero Devil May Cry arm. A few of these characters looks interesting. That ninja guy looks pretty cool too. But if I was to play this game, I'd definitely be playing as Oro, most likely. But I'd have to give that hooded duo a try first. His name is Jake.
Each bring unique combat styles, adding variety and creativity to the roster. With simplified controls, including light and heavy attacks for punches and kicks.
It's the 4-button fighter.
Isn't overwhelming. Though mastering combos and the rush gauge...
Wait, what do you mean?
Simplified controls, including light and heavy attacks for punches and kicks.
Okay.
The curve isn't overwhelming.
I think it's 4-button.
And the rush gauge system adds a rewarding depth. The rush system allows players to unleash faster movements and extended...
Oh, show me. Oh, it's V-ism, I think.
There are minor annoyances like environmental obstacles in some stages.
Oh.
Overall experience.
Is that their hitboxes? That's training mode, right?
Strike is an impressive original fighting game that stands out for its retro pixel art and clever mechanics, all largely built by one person. Though it has
That's impressive.
It offers an
I'm not trying to take away from him. I'm being honest, though.
Game veterans and dedicated newcomers. That's our review of Blazing Strike. If you want to know which games you should check
I really want this game to be good, but I just can't afford to buy something that I'm not sure about.
Thanks for watching.
One more review.
There is a 99% chance I'll outsmart you in this match.
Blazing Strike.
In the crowded arena of fighting games, where titans like Street Fighter, Guilty Gear, and the King of Fighters reign supreme, indie titles often struggle to find a foothold. The success of a fighting game hinges on its player base. Without a dedicated and growing community, even the most innovative indie releases can fade into obscurity.
Oh boy.
Exceptions like
Looks like my
Multi-Blood have carved out their own niches, maintaining relevance.
Last review was pretty positive.
It's a challenging endeavor. Blazing Strike, published by Axis Games and developed single-handedly by Rare Breed, enters the competitive landscape with ambition. The game deserves immense credit for being a solo-developed project.
Facts.
The pressing question is, does it have what it takes to earn a spot among the fighting game elite?
I wasn't really expecting it to keep up with the fighting games of today. I just wanted it to look and sound good, you know? Because the hit sound effects, they just don't do it for me.
Blazing Strike unabashedly wears its inspirations on its sleeves,
What
drawing heavily from
is
early
that?
2000s 2D fighting classics like Mark of the Wolves, Third Strike,
It's a comic
and
book?
Midnight Carnival. The homage is evident in its visual presentation and gameplay mechanics. The game introduces a rush system, touted as a new way to experience classic 2D fighting. This system allows players to chain attacks and special moves into elaborate combos.
They might put some of these dudes on Mugen. That might be the only way I could like get that demo or what?
experience. While this mechanic may not appeal to everyone, it provides a satisfying depth of those willing to dive in. The game's narrative unfolds in a post-apocalyptic world.
I played Capcom vs. SNK the first time through Mugen characters.
Society is
Translated really well. I already knew what I was doing when I picked up that PS2 remote and played the real game.
A resistance group rises to challenge the oppressive regimen, and players are invited to join the battle, facing off against the strongest fighters in this dystopian setting. You step into the shoes of Jake and his allies, embarking on a journey to overthrow the autocrats. Unfortunately, the execution of the story leaves much to be
Yeah,
desired.
the comic
main
thing is
single-player
meh.
offering is a visual novel style story mode, complete with comic panels and extensive dialogue. While the premise has potential, the story mode feels incoherent and unpolished. The narrative is rather confusing, failing to captivate.
That's
due to
fine, but
storytelling
like, I'm
and
just
characters
worried about the
that lack
gameplay more than the
nuance,
story, to be
focused on a
honest.
haphazardly constructed world. Ironically, the in-game cutscenes do a better job of conveying the story than the lengthy text sections, highlighting a missed opportunity to deliver a more compelling narrative.
You could tell they cared though with the story. So still a lot of effort, even if it wasn't executed good in this dude's opinion. Well, I didn't like the comic panels either, but there's something there. A lot of fighting games won't give you anything. I'm still sour about Marvel Infinite's arcade mode.
displaying potential for future refinement. However, inconsistencies are evident. Some background animations outshine others, and not all characters and their signature moves animate smoothly. This lack of
Yeah, none of the background characters should be as tall as the fighters, actually. That's the problem. All background characters, since they're farther away, should be smaller. There's one Street Fighter Alpha game that had that issue. I think it's Charlie stage on Street Fighter Alpha 1. Bad stage. So everyone's like bigger than you. They're like giants surrounding you as they watch you fight. It's really weird.
Experience that a fighting game should provide. Moreover, there's a noticeable lack of thematic cohesion among the characters. While they all look cool individually, there's a disconnect in how their tropes complement the world building, resulting in a fragmented identity. The game struggles to establish a clear and consistent theme, which impacts the overall presentation. Beyond the story mode, the single-player offerings are sparse. Arcade mode presents unique matches with obstacles added to the fights, challenging players to achieve high scores. Training mode provides helpful tools like hitbox visualization and
we already know that.
Presentation kind of feels rushed. Menus and interfaces lack the finesse seen in more polished titles, and there's a general
I'm waiting for this dude to
sense
talk
that
about the gameplay.
benefited more from development time. While the inclusion of various modes shows an effort to
Like
provide
Avatar
a
Krillin.
package, the execution doesn't quite hit
A little
the
bit of
mark.
Gears from
Online
Mortal Kombat
multiplayer
as
is
well.
available, featuring rollback netcode that promises zero network delay, which is a crucial feature for competitive play. This theoretically allows players to face opponents from around the globe without lag, which is an important aspect for any fighting game looking to build a community. However, it remains uncertain whether Blazing Strike can cultivate a dedicated online player base across platforms. Without a robust community, the game's longevity and depth come into question. One of the more intriguing ideas is the inclusion of environmental hazards in certain stages, such as sandstorms that affect visibility.
Oh, that's it?
In theory, these features
The last dude that did the review made it sound like the tornado was gonna suck you in or something. If it's just visibility, that's a problem, but that's not that crazy. Made it sound like it was smashed or something. Like it was actually interfering with the fight. Like I'm doing combos, I'm being sucked backwards. That would have been a problem.
competitive play due to their potential to disrupt balance and fairness.
But yeah, they banned a few Street Fighter 5 stages for that very reason. Just because the water level in the beach stage was so high, it was covering the characters' ankles, you can't see their footwork. If you can't see their footwork, you're not going to be able to know how to react to certain characters' attacks that are incoming, so...
rather than practical additions to the gameplay. A notable misstep is the game's announcer, who might be one of the most grating voices in gaming.
Yes! I'm glad I'm not the only one that agrees.
Sound edgy or to parody genres, is distracting and kind of irritating, and it doesn't really stop.
Oh, some nerd
the
geek
score
dude.
Isn't really that remarkable. Despite its shortcomings, Blazing Strike lays a solid foundation for a meaningful 2D fighting game. The core mechanics offer a good realm of depth, and the rush system provides a fresh take on combo execution. Crafting your own combinations feels really satisfying, and the system encourages players to experiment and develop their own fighting styles in each match. With post-launch support and community feedback, there is potential for refinement.
It needs to be refined. That's the beauty, you know? When you drop a game and it ain't right, it ain't the end because of DLC. They could save this, you know? It ain't the end. I really do hope that they change certain things. Especially the sound design.
Interesting ideas and a genuine love for the genre. However, at launch, it does feel unpolished and rather inconsistent, both as a fighting game and as a video game release. As it stands, it lacks
I was really looking forward to this game too.
Refinement needed to stand out in the saturated market. While the rush system and character design show promise, the game's overall execution falls short. It remains to be seen how post-launch updates and community engagement will shape Blazing Strike's future. The game could evolve into a hidden gem with time and improvement, especially if it manages to build a dedicated player base. For now, unless you're eager to support an indie developer or are curious about its unique mechanics, there's little reason to rush into this title. Patience may prove rewarding if the game receives the polished
jacket is actually crazy looking though. I will say that.
Justify its place among the fighting game ranks. Noisy Pixel is giving Blazing Strike a 6 out of 10. Thanks for watching. This video is brought to you by our supporters on.
Yeah, I don't like the way he looks. I just don't like the hairstyle. It kind of just, you know, But man, I've been watching this game for years, man. A little disappointing to see that it turned out this way. I was really praying we got a chance to like test it before it dropped, the demo or something. All I can really hope is that these characters are loved enough for people to port them into Mugen so I can actually give them a try before deciding if I actually want to buy the game. But yeah, that's pretty much it for Blazing Strike, I guess. We'll see if it's not the end. It doesn't have to be the end. They can make a few changes. They don't have to wait for a sequel. You don't have to. These days, you don't need a sequel to fix a game. Just patches and whatnot. So that's pretty much it.